So friends, many movies of Spider-Man have been released till now, but 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Year is the LM in which we saw the ultimate Spider-Man of Miles Morales, and in this LM, for the RST time Spider-Year, i.e. multiple Spider-Man was shown, went. This animated superhero LM of Sony is very entertaining and very good science fiction movie, and now the second part of this movie has also come, which is very interesting. But to watch that movie, you need to understand its RST part. So today I will explain Spider-Man Into Spider movie in short. So let's see till one. This is the story of Miles Morales, a 14-year-old schoolboy from the city of Brooklyn. Miles is a very smart and very cool guy, and he is a big fan of Spider-Man. But his father, Jefferson, is a police officer, so he doesn't like Spider-Man and wants Miles to concentrate on his studies. For this reason, Miles is a little distant from his father, Lives, and he is closer to his Uncle Alan. Aaron is a petty criminal and is very fond of his nephew. Miles was very fond of painting, but his father was annoyed by this. But Aaron appreciated this quality of his. So once Miles was visiting his uncle, then Aaron takes her to do wall painting at an underground train station. While they're doing Miles' painting, it seems then a radioactive spider comes there and bites his hand, but he doesn't pay much attention to that spider, and he to him kills. But now that spider's DNA had gone into Miles' body and his body had started to develop, then when he sleeps the next day, getting up, so he got all the powers like Spider-Man. She goes, and because the spider that bit Miles was a powerful spider from another world, that's why Miles also got two extra powers, one of which was invisibility and the other was electric shock. Although Miles liked Spider-Man, he did not want to be like him. That's why they get these powers. He gets scared, and that again at the same train station. Goes to see whether the spider that bit him was a minor spider or a special one. Miles learns this when he gets there. It turns out that he was a radioactive spider created by a company called Alchem X. Alchem X was a company that used to do a lot of scientific research and experiments. At present, this company was working for the city's crime watch Wilson's Kingpin, who wanted to bring back his dead wife and son. For this reason, the scientist of Alchem X had made a machine named Super Collider, which could bring people from other worlds to this world. With the help of this Super Collider, Kingpin wanted to bring his wife and son from a parallel universe to this universe. But when about this to Spider-Man, it is known then he tries to stop the Kingpin. Because of that collider, the whole world could be destroyed. Then, one day the Kingpin and his friends start testing the collider. Then Spider-Man's there to destroy that machine, reaches where that testing was going on. The spot was near the same underground train station where Miles was bitten by the spider, and when Miles was at that spot for the second time, reaches then Spider-Man there, it is visible, who had come to destroy that collider, then there to kill Kingpin's men. Green Cop and Pro-Large Spider-Man fall behind, and when their DHT breaks out, Miles gets caught up in the turmoil. Then Spider-Man would save her. And this unseeing Miles understands that he too has the same powers. On the other hand, the collider was on. So Spider-Man left Miles there and destroyed that machine. Goes off. Then the Green God flame thrusts it into the middle of the running collider to kill Spider-Man. And just like Spider-Man's DNA in that machine goes, then an earthquake in that world comes. And there's a Spider-Man from the different universes reach. Then that collider damage becomes more. Govan died due to his blast. Now the Peter Parker, a Spider-Man of this world, was also badly injured. So when Miles meets him, so he assigns him the responsibility of destroying that collider. But it was necessary to deactivate it before destroying it. That's why Peter gives him a pen drive, and says that whenever that collider is on again, deactivate it with that pen. drive and destroy it. Then there's Tim Payne, comes, and he kills Spider-Man, puts. Then Miles starts running from there. However, problems followed him, but still he escaped to his home. He goes away. Now the news of Spider-Man's death had spread all over the city, but no one knew that he was killed by the Kingpin. Everyone thought that he was killed by the earthquake. Meanwhile, Kingpin is preparing to restart the Collider and Miles decides to take his place now that Spider-Man is dead. That's why he starts practicing his powers. But in this affair, he fell down from the height. Due to which the pen drive that deactivates the Collider breaks. Then Miles mourns at Spider-Man's grave. He goes away. But then there is a Peter from another world. Parker arrives, which was a slightly older, experienced Spider-Man. Miles is very surprised to see her becomes more. He accidentally shocks her and knocks her unconscious. Then he somehow takes her to his home, takes away. And a little questioning of him. This gave Miles this is understandable. That he is a Spider-Man from another universe who came here because of that. Collider has gone. Then Miles tells him about the Kingpin's plan. If I tell Peter to help her, gets dressed, but to shut down that Collider. He needed a new pen drive. For this, both of them went to Alchem X Company, let's go, so that he can download the information from there and make a new pen drive. There he encounters Dr. Agneves, happens from, who was the main scientist of that Collider experiment. Seeing Peter, she understands that he came here from another universe, and if he stays here for too long, he will die. Meanwhile, Miles steals the computer there and starts running away. Then T.B. goes after them to kill them both. But then a girl named Gwen Stacy, who was Spider-Woman from another universe, came there to help Miles and Peter. She goes, and he beat T.B. Then Miles, Gwen and Peter leave with the computer. Let's go. And now Gwen also joins their mission. The three then go to the dead Spider-Man's house in that world to make a new pen drive from that computer, where Art takes them to Spider-Man's high-tech cave. There were already 3 Spider-Mans from different universes in that place, whom I supported, and like Gwen and Peter, all 3 of them were slowly dying from being here from another world. So Miles said that he would send them all back home. After that, he will destroy that Collider. But those V Spider-Man do not agree to this, because Miles had powers but had no experience at all. Miles is very sad to hear this. It happens. And he left there and went to his Uncle Aaron's house. On reaching there, he turns out that his uncle is the real problem, so Miles escapes from there. It seems so. Proud followed him. Aaron did not know that the boy was his nephew, so he wanted to kill him. Then Miles ran home in the east. He goes away. There the rest of the Spider-Man had made that new pen drive. Then Miles comes there and tells everyone the reality of his uncle. But on the other hand, the proud Lark takes many people to Aunt May's house to kill her. Then all of them try to kill all Spider-Man and snatch that pen drive, but they lose. But in the end, Pro Lark catches Miles, and then Miles gives his face to Aaron to save her life, shows it. That's why Aaron leaves him. Seeing this, Kingpin shoots Traveler, killing him. Meanwhile, Miles' father is there, Reach, and he holds the new Spider-Man responsible for Aaron's death. Then Miles to his room. He goes away, where the rest of the Spider-Mans arrive and meet him. Together they decided not to take Miles with them to GHT the Kingpin. And now Peter will stop here. To destroy that Collider means he will not be able to go home. But Miles does not agree to this. That's why Peter would tie her up in her room. And all the Spider-Mans out there. Let's go. On the other hand, Kingpin's Collider had been repaired and he was about to turn it on for the last time and bring his wife and child here. Although all the scientists believe it, let's explain that doing so could destroy the world, but he doesn't listen to anyone and instead holds a function in Spider-Man's memory to distract the townspeople. from his collider experiments, where he summons many people. And he started the work of his collider under the same building. On the other hand, as soon as Peter, Gwen, and the rest of the Spider-Man came to know about this, so he reached the function of the Kingpin and walked under that building. Let's go. Miles, on the other hand, by focusing his powers, becomes free. And he would go to his mother and make a new Spider-Man for himself. Then he also leaves to go to that collider. On the other hand, Kingpin's scientist had put the DNA of his wife and son in the collider and turned it on, causing havoc in the whole city. It happens. But their doctor of TVs and many villains come and start fighting with all Spider-Man. Then Miles also reaches there and he helps everyone. On the other side, that collider had become completely unstable and things from every dimension started coming here. Then Miles starts deactivating it by putting the pen drive in that folder, due to which the Kingpin's family stops coming here. Miles then opens a portal with him and sends all the Spider-Men back to their world. Now him. All I had to do was press a button to turn it off. But then Kingpin comes there, and because of the failure of his plan, he is bent on killing Miles. Miles seems defeated by this. But then his father arrives there and he understands that the real villain is not Spider-Man but the Kingpin. That's why he encourages Spider-Man, and then Miles shocks the Kingpin by throwing him at the leader's button, which shuts down the machine and everything becomes normal again. After that, Miles catches Kingpin and his associates and gets them arrested, and now along with his studies, he also protects the entire city by becoming Spider-Man. Then after some time she comes to meet him in Miles' world through a portal. In the post-credits scene of the movie, we see a future Spider-Man named Mittal and Hera, who used to keep an eye on the multiverse. Whatever happened in Miles' world, multiple universes were put in jeopardy. That's why Mittal, to solve this problem, Multi makes a watch to travel on the bus and starts collecting other Spider-Man with